Okay, I'm going to run a quick demonstration of how to import CSV files and set up your database for the practical exam. You should have already done some practice on this, but last minute, just a little quick bit of revision just to make sure you know how it works. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to run MAMP. On Mac or PC, exactly the same. You're going to run MAMP and you're going to press start and you're going to get it running. Once you press start and you get it running, you will get a web page that comes up. I'm just going to do that right now on mine. It's just starting up. Okay, and here comes the web page, and you should remember this is the page that we start from. Now, we go to the tools option here. You can see here, and we're going to PHPMyAdmin. So we click on PHPMyAdmin and it comes up with this screen here, which is where we create our database. Now, what we're going to do is you are going to have to, if you've looked at past papers, you're going to have to import CSV files, right? So the exam gives you some files and you have to import them and make your own database out of them. So for this demo, I've made 3 files here, and the main one is called School of Rock. So I'm just going to click on that, and I'm just going to actually double click on it and open it in Excel, right? So I'm just going to preview it in Excel. Now you could just press space. I'm actually previewing it in Numbers right now, but we want to preview it in Excel. So I'm just going to right click on it here, and I'm going to open with Microsoft Excel. There we go. And I can see in my School of Rock CSV file that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 columns. And it's got the heading of all of the columns on there. So it's already got those headings there. So I want to make a database that has those columns on it. So I want to make it exactly the same. And I know my CSV file is called School of Rock. So why not make my database called School of Rock? So I'm going to go to here over on the left-hand side. I'm going to click on New. And I click on New and I make a new database. And I'm going to call it School of Rock. Right, pretty simple, School of Rock. And I hit create. And you'll notice on the left-hand side over here, if you've done it correctly, we've created a database here. Now, it wants me to create my first table. Now, if I go back to my CSV file and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's 9 columns. So I'm going to put in here, and I could put students as my heading, and I'm going to make it 9 columns. Right, so it's 9 columns to match my CSV file. Now it's really important that you open this CSV file and you have a bit of a look at it, right? Because it's going to influence everything that we do from now on. So I'm going to create this new one, students 9, create. Right, and it creates this table comes up that looks like this, right? It's crazy long table with all this information. Now we did this in class, so you should be able to remember how to do this, but we'll go through and we'll do it one more time here. The first thing we're going to look at is the first column of our CSV file is going to be student ID. Now, if you remember, the student ID had to be the primary key. It was a unique key for every single student. So let's in here type it exactly the same. Student ID. It has to be exactly the same as the CSV file, right? And then the second one is going to be first name, all one word, first name. The next one is going to be surname. Don't worry if it comes up with a spelling mistake, because that's how it is in the CSV file. So that's how we're going to put it, exactly the same. Now, the next column is actually called Year of Fame. So we're going to go Year of Fame. The next one is Nationality. Then we're going to go to Favorite Color. Then we're going to go down, and the next one looks like it's house. Then we've got instrument. And then we've got studio code. Okay, now before we hit go or any of those things, the first thing we want to do is student ID is going to be our primary key. So we're going to scroll across to our index and we're going to say primary. It's going to flash up with this thing saying, you're making this the primary key. We go, yep, go. We want to make that the primary key. So that's our primary key. Now, int stands for integer, which is a number, and we're going to make this, say, 10 in length. So it can have 10 characters long number if we need it. Now, realistically, we only need 2, right? It only looks like the longest number is a 12, right? So we only need 2 characters. But I'm going to leave it 10 because who knows when we're going to add to the database. We might add to it later. First name. Now the first name could be long. I'm going to give it, say, 50 characters to put the first name in. Surname, I'm going to give it 50 characters. Year of fame, and I'm going to give that 4 characters because the year's only going to have 4 characters in it. Now, a couple of things. First name is not an integer. First name is going to be a variable character. So lots of different characters we could use in the name. Surname, variable characters. Nationality, variable characters. And with the nationality, let's give that 50 as well. Favorite color, let's give that variable character 50 spaces. House, variable character 50 spaces. Instrument, variable character 50 spaces. And studio code, variable character. Let's give that one only 4 because we know that the maximum one is actually only 3 down here. So we'll give that one 4. So we've now gone through and we've created all of the elements of the table that we would like to have. So we go all the way down to the bottom and we click Save. And now what you'll see is our table is set out with all of the different information. You can see the type, the numbers, the name, all that sort of stuff. It's all set out. If we click on Browse, it actually comes up like a table with the columns names written at the top, which is very similar to our CSV file, right? The column names at the top. Now, if I would like to import the information into this table, what I need to do is go up here to the Import button right there. I go to that Import button. So click on that. Now, we're at the Import tab here, and we're going to choose a file to import. So I'm going to go here to choose the file, and click on that, and I'm going to choose School of Rock. So I'm going to choose my CSV file, School of Rock, and I hit Upload. Now, before I go down to the bottom and I press Import, I don't want to do that yet. I want to make sure that this section here, this format specific options, that's on. So you're going to go to your format section here. You're going to choose CSV. You might click there and choose CSV and make sure that we have format specific options available. So you should be able to see those things there. Now you don't need to change any of these. You just leave those as they are and we're going to hit import. But before we do that, there's a special button here that says do not abort on insert error. Now here's the problem that I have or that we have. When we go to our Excel file, if we import this first row here, this first row across here, that's got the words student ID, first name, surname. Now we don't want to import that first row. Plus, this is not an integer. That's a word, that's a variable character, but I actually just want them to come in as integers. So this first row is going to actually cause me an error when I run my import. So if I go to here and I say, do not abort on insert error, then even if I get an error for my first row, because they've got words and they should be integers, even if I get that error, it should still import everything else. Everything else should be okay, all right? So I'm going to see how I go on this. I've just turned that little button on and I hit import. And when I do that, it comes up saying, yep, a whole pile of green stuff. Yes, this was good. Yes, this was good. Yes, this was good. But there was some warnings in here. There's some student ID had an error and the year of fame had an error and the student code had an error. So that's interesting. So let's go and browse our information here and let's check our information and see what happened. Now, for our first ID, we've got one called first name, surname, the year of fame didn't work, yes, nationality didn't work. So that first one has actually tried to import the information from the column. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to delete that straight away. I'm just going to press delete. Are you sure you want to delete that? Yep. Now I know every single thing here imported from my table should be 100% right, should be in the right position. I've got student IDs and they're the primary key. I've got first names, surnames, year of fame, everything else is imported. So that's my first table. Okay, so in terms of making a relational database, this is a flat database, this is the first table. But if I look into my folder, I still have 2 other tables, right? So if I go into my demo folder, I have a table called School of Rock Color and School of Rock Extras. So let's have a quick look at what they look like in Excel. So I'm just going to open that up in Excel. Have a quick look. It's got a color code, it's got some colors, and it's got some color factors. Okay, so I could make a new table here. I just go in and I could go to new here, click new, make a new table, and I would have a second table. Now, let's have a look at the third one. The third one has extras. So let's open that in Excel and have a quick look at that, see what that says. And that has a code, some extras in here, and some costs as well. And something interesting I'm noticing here is, on my original table, this one actually has favorite colors, but my colors CSV has a color code. So if I put this into a new table, I'm going to have two sets of data that's exactly the same. I'm going to have red, blue, green, yellow, and I'll have some data there that's the same. So two bits of data the same, that's called redundant data. So we need to somehow work out, maybe we change this favorite color into the color code as a foreign key that then links to this new table. Maybe we need to do that as part of our normalization. Now, this one, if we look at here, this has got extras in here, which also could be a foreign key. We could change that into being a foreign key, which would then relate to this table in here. So, for your work tonight, what I want you to do is I want you to practice importing a CSV file. I want you to make the next two files as well, the next two tables, the extras table, and I want you to try and make the color table. So you're going to add two more tables, follow the exact process that I just did. Then you're going to make a foreign key on both of those tables. After you've imported everything, after you've got it to work, make a foreign key on both of those tables and link that foreign key back to this studio color. And maybe, hint, hint, create a new column here and call this something like color code and remove this favorite color so we don't have redundant data. Remove that and make a color ID. So that, if you can do all of those things, you are in a fantastic place for the exam tomorrow.